If you are charged and you have flesh hooks, you can still shoot the guy that charged you in the shooting phase. Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here. Today we're going to try something a little bit different with an overview of the Tyranids commanders. As I've been going through all of the commanders, factions breakdowns, I'm learning more and more about them. I've also finally actually done the commanders specialism, so I know more about that. And I've also finally actually gotten some games in with my Autarch pistol dude. It went very well. And I was actually against Tyranids. Because I actually know something, practical experience now, I'm going to try and make this video concise and not rambly. So, if you see this video as over 10 minutes, but like still under 11, then you know that I've achieved my goal, and at the end of it, I've just put in dead air, bit of filler, so that I'm over 10 minutes, because the YouTube algorithms are bullshit. Okay, let's dive in. Now, I am also doing this at just the wrong time, because the Broodlord Commander has just been announced. It exists. It's there. I don't have it. It doesn't come out until next weekend. Anyway, Tyranid Prime, stat line, 6 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 5, toughness 5, wound 6, 4 attacks, leadership 10, save 3+. At level 1 he is 50 points, at level 2 he is 65, at level 3 he is 80, at level 4 he is 105. Adrenal glands will cost you 1, bone swords 5, death spitter 5, devour 0, flesh hooks 2, lash whip and bone sword 5, reddening talon, scything talon, spine fist 0, toxin sacs 8. Isn't toxin sacs 8 a bit crazy? But let's keep going. This model is armed with scything talons and a devour. What are scything talons and a devour? Scything talons. Strength user, which means strength 5. No AP, damage 1. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 for this weapon. If the bearer has more than 1 pair of scything talons, which you don't, it can make 1 additional attack with this weapon each time it fights. Can it actually do that? Let's have a look. This model can replace its devour with death spitter, scything talons. Oh yes, okay. So if you wanted to, you could actually use the scything talons ability there. You also have a devour, 18 inches, assault 3, strength 4. If you don't upgrade that to a death spitter, what are you doing with your life? That's my only question to you. What is wrong with you? So you may replace your devourer with a death spitter, yes. Scything talons, spine fist, bone swords, rending claws, or lash whip and bone sword. Oh crap! I have to read all of those out now, don't I? Okay, let's do it. So basically, you can replace your gun with anything. So the death spitter is 24 inches, assault 3, strength 5, AP -1. That's your go-to gun if you don't have that and you plan on shooting. Why? You will give him flesh hooks, which is something you can put on the end there. It's cost you 2 points. Do it. Flesh hooks are range 6, assault 2, strength user, which means strength 5. So flesh hooks. Okay, so this is the important bit. This weapon can be fired within 1 inch of an enemy model and can target enemy models within 1 inch of friendly models. Awesome. Now, the thing about flesh hooks, and I mentioned this before, but flesh hooks are not pistols. Flesh hooks are simply given the ability to shoot within 1 inch and to within 1 inch of an enemy. And that means that on a turn you charge, you cannot shoot. That's fine. However, the only reason you cannot shoot when you are charged with a pistol is because it specifically says in the pistol rules, you cannot shoot when you are charged. Flesh hooks are assault weapons. If you are charged and you have flesh hooks, you can still shoot the guy that charged you in the shooting phase because you have flesh hooks. They are a must-take for any Tyranid warrior. They're brilliant. Effectively, anyone that is charging you is taking 2 strength 5 hits because you're shooting with your ballistic skill of 3 up. It's a very powerful anti-charge deterrent. Use it for 2 points. Okay, moving on from that little flesh hook rant. Spine fist, 12-inch pistol. Oh, there's a, what does that mean? Why have they given it a little star? Why have they, oh, it says there. So it's a pistol, strength 3. When a model fires this weapon, it makes a number of shots equal to its attacks characteristics. 4 attacks, that's not bad. So a pistol, 4 attacks, but it's strength 3, don't take it, they're shit. Bone swords. Bone swords are really your default. No, they're not. Sorry, I lie, as always. On standard Tyranid warriors, bone swords are your default because they are the best weapon pretty much by far, as they have AP -2. However, bone swords on Tyranid warriors are free. On the Tyranid Prime, they cost 5 points, so they're not an auto take. Anyway, bone swords, user, strength 5, AP -2, damage 1. A model armed with bone swords can make 1 additional attack with them in the fight phase. It's still your best close combat weapon, as it's going to put you up to 5 attacks. You know, hitting on 2s, yeah, do that. AP -2. It's 5 points, take them. Lash Whip and Bone Sword. Oh, Lash Whip and Bone Sword is 5 as well. I changed my mind, everybody. Oh, but you know what? It doesn't give you the +1 from the Bone Swords. How peculiar. Anyway, Lash Whip and Bone Sword is the same thing, except if the bearer is taken out of action in the fight phase before it has made its attacks in that phase, it may immediately fight before being removed from the battlefield. I wouldn't say that's really an auto take with the Tyranid Prime, because I'm just thinking if you're dead, which is when you get to use its ability, you probably have lost the game. So who cares? Rending Claws. Melee, strength user, AP -1, damage 1. Each time you make a wound roll of 6+ with this weapon, that hit is resolved with an AP -4. That's not bad, and they are free. Maybe Rending Claws might be an actual contender, because you've already got 4 attacks, so you are relatively likely to hit a 6. Scything Talons, they're the default here. Strength user, AP 0, damage 1. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 for this weapon if the bearer has more than 1 pair of Scything Talons that can make 1 additional attack with this weapon each time it fights. I'd probably swap those out. I don't think you need them. Anyway, the model replaces Scything Talons. Yeah, very good. Either Bone Swords, Rending Claws, or a Lash Weapon Bone Sword. Model may have flesh hooks. It may as well just say this model will have flesh hooks. This model may have toxin sacs and or adrenal glands. Now, what are they? Adrenal glands. If a model has adrenal glands, add 1 inch to the distance it can move when it advances or charges. And they're 1 point. To be honest, on a commander model, that's probably worth it. You don't want to fail that charge. And you are going to be charging. ABC, guys, always be charging. And Toxin Sacs. Any wound rolls of 6+ in the fight phase for a model with Toxin Sacs cause 1 additional damage. Obviously, this pairs very well with a nice Chardonnay. With Scything Talons, because when you roll a 6... No, Rending Claws, when you roll a 6, you get an AP -4. And then, like all Tyranid warriors, you get Shadows in the Warp. Subtract 1 from any psychic tests made for enemy psychers within 18 inches of enemy models with this ability. Tyranid Psych is not affected. And Synapse. Tyranid models automatically pass nerve tests while within 12 inches of any friendly models with this ability. Alpha Warrior. Again, it's an aura tactic that you use at the start of the shooting phase. 1 command point. As long as this model is not shaken, you can add 1 to hit rolls for friendly models within 6 inches of this model. Very nice, as obviously it just says hit rolls, which means both shooting and fighting. Good stuff. I like it. It's a very powerful tactic, actually. Then we go over to the Broodlord. So obviously let's go over the points cost first, because that's what everybody says about him. So Broodlord level 1 is 131 points. Level 2 he's 151. Level 3 he's 171. Level 4 he's 196. Now, as I've said before, in standard 200-point match play missions, you literally cannot take a Broodlord level 4, because although he does fit within the 200, not command points, 200 points limit, it would not be a Battleforge kill team, as you still have to have a minimum of 3 units, and you have to have a leader. You can just barely get a level 3, but you can't get a 4. Of course, within campaigns, and who knows what tournaments are actually going to do, even if they will use commanders, I don't know. You will probably, at some point, advance the points limits to 250, 300, and then he's fine as a level 4. Okay, Broodlord's stats. He's got a move of 8, weapon skill of 2, no ballistic skill, which is weird, because as I said in my Genestealer Cult one, the Patriarch, that is essentially the same model, has a ballistic skill. He doesn't have a ranged weapon, but he has a ballistic skill. Anyway, strength 5, toughness 5, wound 6, attack 6, leadership 10, save 4 up. And this model is armed with monstrous rending claws. Monstrous rending claws. Range melee type, melee strength user, so strength 5. AP -3. Damage D3. Abilities, you can re-roll failed wound rolls for this weapon. In addition, each time you make a wound roll of 6+, that hit is resolved with an AP of -6 and damage of 3. That's painful. And that's with 6 attacks. That's very good. I've got to say, it's very good. So Lightning Reflex is giving you an invuln save of 5 up, which you are almost certainly going to be falling back on a lot. Shadows in the Warp we've just read. Synapse we've just read. But he also gets Swift and Deadly like all Gene Sealers. You can reroll failed charge rolls for this model. But he's also a Psyker. This model can attempt to manifest 1 Psychic Power and deny 1 Psychic Power in each Psychic phase in those Psybolt, as well as 1 from the Hive Mind Discipline. Let's go over it, shall we, guys? Dominion. Dominion has a Warp Charge value of 4, so it's an easy cast. If manifested, select a friendly model within 18 inches of the Psyker that has the Instinctive Behavior ability. Until at the start of the next Psychic phase, that model ignores its Instinctive Behavior ability and automatically passes nerve tests. That's useless. On to Catalyst. Let's hope this is good. Catalyst has a Warp Charge value of 5. If manifested, select a friendly model within 18 inches of the Psyker. Till the start of the next Psychic phase, roll a d6 each time that model loses a wound. On a 5 up, that wound is not lost. Okay, so that's not terrible. You're giving 1 model within 18 inches of the Broodlord, or what's called Disgustingly Resilient. And finally, he has the Horror. The Horror has a Warp Charge value of 5. If manifested, select an enemy model within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. Till the start of the next Psychic phase, that model must subtract 1 for their hit rolls and leadership characteristic. -1 to hit rolls is good, and -1 to leadership is, not terrible. Okay, I'm going to be honest, guys. The Psychic abilities there have not excited me. Maybe this will be the first Commander box where where it's a must-buy, because you have to get the extra Hive Mind Discipline Psychic power. Because so far, I don't feel like any of the Commander boxes have been a must-buy. On that note, I am going to do a big roundup of all of the Commander boxes. All of the ones we haven't seen yet. Once I'm back from my trip to America. Next 2 weeks sometime. But before then, I'm going to wait for the Gene Stealer Cults and the Tyranids to come out so that I can see what they are as well. And I'm hopefully going to unbox them as well. It's just going to be very late, because I'm not here on the day they release. Anyway, final closing thoughts. What do I think of them? Broodlord, obviously very powerful in melee. However, psychically, he's not doing much for me. Gonna be honest. I think Dominion's a bit meh. So far in the game, as is. Catalyst, you probably want to use on him, actually. So with that in mind, if you use Catalyst on him, because, the way it normally works is, I believe, the model that casts it is a friendly model that is within 18 inches of the Psycho. He's within 18 inches of himself. So giving yourself, with 6 wounds Disgustingly Resilient, actually going to make you pretty tough to take down. And you got the 5 up invuln. What would you run him as? Tough one. I'd honestly have to reread everything. But you're going to be looking at Ferocity, Melee, or Strength. Realistically. I'd probably lean towards Melee, as it's not relying on constant charges. And I suspect with the Broodlord, quite possibly once you've got your first charge off, you're going to just constantly be in combat, consolidating into and out of combat. Tyranid Prime, he's going to be you're going to see a lot more Tyranid Prime than Broodlord. I think that much is safe to say. The Broodlord, while being very powerful, is a crazy amount of points. Don't get me wrong, you could still get a Broodlord and then 3 warriors. That's still going to be a painful list to go up against. Actually, you probably might see that. That sounds very scary. There's so many wounds there. The Tyranid Prime, as a basic level 1 or 2, is going to just provide basically an extra warrior to a list, because you've obviously got up to 200 points. Another warrior, because you'll still be able to fit one in. Or if he's only level 2, a Lictor, maybe. You could do a Lictor and a Gene Stealer, just added to any other swarm list that you'd fit within a standard 100-point game. And actually, that's going to be really tough to deal with. You could potentially have an extra, 6 wounds here, plus, is it 4 from a Lictor or 3? And then 3 from a Tyranid Warrior? It's just going to, that's so many wounds to chew through. It's going to be really difficult to take out that army. Anyway, this video has gone on far too long. I think I was relatively concise though, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much. At least, not about this video. I will about, the rest of my life. Because, shit. But there you go, guys. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've all had a good day, and I hope you continue to have a good day. Glass Half Dead, logging out.